Hello and welcome everyone to Genovo's Mortgage and Protection demo. First of all, we'll start on Genovo's dashboard, which you're able to customize to reflect your own company's colors and branding. The demo will start by looking at Account Admin. It's here that you can manage your own and your company's details, your subscription and your users. We'll then take a look at the various libraries that Genovo has, which will save you time when creating a report, as information can be pulled into reports from these libraries with just a couple of clicks. Then we'll move on to customization. So this is where you can personalize both your account and your reports to reflect your company's branding and advice service. And then I'll walk through the process of actually creating a report, and then we'll download it to Word so you can look at the finished product at the end. So starting with Account Admin, you'll see we have your details. So the details that you input here will come out on the front page of your report. And the same with your company details. These will also come out on the front page as well. Next, we have your subscription. So this is where you can manage your Genovo subscription. So we do offer a 30-day free trial. As part of the sign-up process, you would be asked to enter your bank card details, but I do stress that no payment will be taken for the 30 days. You can upgrade or downgrade at any point by clicking on the change button here. And should you ever wish to cancel, you can also do that yourself here as well. So just to add, there's no tie-in period with Genovo. So even if you do go beyond your trial period, you can still cancel at any point. Next, we'll move on to manage users. So if you're signed up to a multi-user company plan, it's here that you'll find an overview of your account and its users. Within Genovo, we have a concept of a writer and a reader user. So a writer can log into Genovo and write reports for themselves or others, whereas a reader, they can't log into Genovo, but they can have reports written for them by a writer user. So as an example, an advisor or paraplanner who writes reports would be typically added as a writer user, whereas an advisor who has their reports written for them by the paraplanner would be added as a reader user. The number of users you can add to your account is restricted to the writer user limit of your plan, and then any additional writer or reader users you have purchased. To add a user, click Add Writer User. You'll then be prompted to provide some basic information about the new user like so. You can also give them a role, so an account admin, they're able to customize the account at a company level, manage the account's users and share content with other users, whereas an account user has no control over the account at a company level, and so any customizations they make will only affect their own account. Share clients and reports is a feature that's been built into Genovo, especially for paraplanners. So users who've had this activated will notice that they have an additional drop-down when they go to write a report, which allows that user to view and edit the clients and reports of all the other users within their account, and then also write reports for them as well. Next, you'll see we have your integrations. So it's here that you can see any integrations that you have currently activated for your Genovo account. As you can see, I'm currently integrated with IO, and I'll incorporate this for you in the demo today. Download data allows you to download your client data as a standard CSV file, and we have links with various networks and service providers, and group membership allows their users to link their account to the group's account. Next, we'll move on to Genovo's library, starting with the provider library, and you will see that this comes preloaded with various insurance companies, platforms and wraps, which we manage and regularly update on your behalf. If I just have a look at one of Genovo's standards to start with, you'll see it's made up of a name and description, and this information is pulled through into your report if and when selected. If there's a provider that you frequently use and it's not already in the list here, you can easily add one of your own. Just click Add Provider, and if I just give it a name, you can give it a description, click Save, and you'll see this provider will be added into the standard list like so. Having added the provider, you just need to click on Linked Sections and select the sections that you wish to link this provider to. You can also click to share, so it then becomes available under your company's name, so all other account users can use it within their reports as well. You can also hide any of our standard providers just by unchecking them like so, which will remove the provider from provider drop-down in any of those linked recommendation sections, and allows you to tailor this to reflect your company's preferences and make them more manageable for you and your users as well. Then you have the investment library, and this allows you to save information about the underlying investments that you frequently recommend to your clients, for example, individual funds, model portfolios, or DFMs. Next, we'll move on to customization, where we have upload logo. And once you've uploaded your logo, it will appear at the top of the web pages and also come out on the front page of your report. You can also upload a favicon, so this is a small image that will appear in the top right hand corner of each page of your report, but if you don't wish to include it, just leave it blank. The GUI theme allows you to change the colours of the web pages, so you can change the primary and secondary GUI colours by using the colour picker here or by entering in the appropriate hex code. And this takes you then onto the report theme. So you can quickly and easily change the look and feel of your reports by applying a different report theme. And a theme is a set of formatting choices that will be applied to your reports, including colours, fonts and styling. Your account already comes preloaded with 5 themes, but you can easily create one of your own by cloning one of ours, which I've already done here to show you, and named it custom theme. So if I click on the edit, you'll see that a theme is made with various styles, much like in Word, and by clicking on each of the edits, you can then change the font name, size, colour and so on as to how you'd like your reports to look. Then we have the attitude to risk profiles, so again Genovo comes preloaded with a number of risk profiling tools. You would select the one that you wanted to use as your default, but you can still override this on a report by report basis. And I will come back to the Report Content Manager and Advice Options and Reasons once I've gone through the process of actually creating a report, as they normally make a bit more sense later on. So from the dashboard, Write View Report. And Genovo caters for private, corporate and trust clients, and also comes preloaded with various example clients and reports. To add a client, just click on the appropriate Add Client button. And because my account is integrated with I/O, you'll see I've got the add data from CRM, which if I then click on, and then search, I can then add the client, and you'll then see that the green integrated fields are automatically completed for you. You can edit these if you wish and also complete any of the non-integrated fields as required as well. Again, there's no sense of compulsion, so any fields that you do leave blank will not get pulled through into the final report. On clicking save, you'll then see this client will be added to the user's library, and they'll have the plug icon next to it to indicate it's now an integrated client. If you wanted to write a report for this client, maybe in a few months' time, if you click on the edit, you'll then see the button says refresh data from CRM, so any information that you've entered into I/O will automatically be updated in Genovo. If you wanted to write a joint report, you'd need to add each client separately and then tick both names. Then click Write Report. You'll then be prompted to give the report a name. Select the report type, so I'll concentrate on the suitability report, but as you can see we have a range of report types available for you to use. You can also give the report a reference, so this will be displayed on the front cover, but again if you don't wish to include it, just leave it blank. And you can also select the currency. Click Save, and you're through to what we call the Report Builder. So the Report Builder allows you to manage the sections that make up your report. Genovo is a multi-product, multi-section modular report builder that caters for a variety of advice scenarios. You'll see that some sections are already included here for you, however you will need to add the additional advice sections to reflect what you're recommending from this drop down here. You can also reorder the sections of the report by using these arrows down the side, and if you don't wish to include a particular section, you can also just untick it. And these icons indicate that that section requires your input, whereas the content of the other sections are automatically created for you. I just wanted to point out as well that you can also clone an existing report that's already stored within your library, so you may wish to use this for a mortgage report or an annual review. And once you've cloned the report, you can also reassign it to another client and then make the necessary edits as well. So in this example report here, you'll see I've got the ticks down the side to indicate that section is now complete. So I'm just going to work through each of these sections now with you before I download the report at the end. Starting with the introduction, you'll see we have the client circumstances. So the client information is stored in the library and then pulled through into the report. You are still able to edit this if you wish by clicking on Edit Client Details, and you've also got the text box underneath for further client background information as well. To move on to this next step, click on the Next button at the bottom of the page, and this also acts as an autosave and saves all the data you've entered into that section up to that point as well. Next, we've got the client objectives, so you'll see that Genovo does come preloaded with a number of standard statements, but they're all fully customizable so you can tailor them to the individual client. For example, we've got the mortgage advice one here. So if I just click on the edit, you'll see that you are able to edit the standard wording here. And you've also got what we call the Know Your Client Information text box. So this allows you to add some more colour and detail to the objective, especially if you include some of the client's own words. And the report display order allows you to list the objectives in order of importance they are to the client. However, if none of these options are relevant, you can easily add one of your own. Just click Add Advice option. And if I just pop an example in here, so I can either add this option just to this report, or add it to my library so it's available for selection in future reports, or add it to my library and share so it's available for all other account users to use within their reports as well. Now I'm just going to add it to my library in this instance, which we will look at in a bit more detail later, but for now if I just scroll down to the bottom of the list here, you can see that example's been added. Overview of existing provision allows you to provide a brief overview of any existing arrangements the client already has in place that could in whole or part help meet their stated objectives. So this is to be kept quite brief. Some fields may not be relevant, so just leave them blank and they won't get pulled through into your final report. Basis of advice, either limited or full. Knowledge and experience. And regulatory dates. And that section is now complete. So next we'll move on to the mortgage recommendations section. And the first step here is new mortgage details. So you're first prompted to provide details of the mortgage that you're recommending. The IO integration also allows you to pull through new mortgage details in exactly the same way by clicking on Add Data from CRM. I can then add the plan. And again, any data contained in the integrated fields is automatically inserted. You can edit these if you wish, and also complete any of the non-integrated fields as required. Then we have mortgage fees. So remember, the concept that runs through Genovo is that once you select any of our standard options, you can then customize them by clicking on the edit here, or if none of these are relevant, then you can add one of your own, add it to your library so it's available for selection in future reports. How will fees be paid? And then we have the current mortgage details. So this is where you need to provide details of the client's current mortgage, which again you can pull across from IO. So again, click Add Data from CRM, add the plan, and once again the integrated fields are automatically completed for you. You can edit these if you wish, and also complete any of the non-integrated fields as required as well. Then we have reasons for why remortgage. Why repayment method. Why mortgage term. Why interest rate type. why mortgage product, why have you recommended the lender, then we have the key disadvantages, and that section's now complete. So the next section we'll look at is new protection recommendation. And the first step here is the plan summary, which allows you to provide details of the plans that you're recommending. So to add a plan, click Add Plan. You'll see we've got various fields here. And remember, I added in a new provider earlier on and I linked it to this section, so you can now see that it appears in this drop down just here. Just to note that any columns that you do leave blank will not get pulled through into the final report. Why product type, so if I click Edit Advice Reasons, you'll then be prompted to select the reasons why you're recommending that particular product type. And again, the concept that runs through Genovo is that we have these standard advice options, or in this case advice reasons, which you can select, customize if you wish by clicking on the edit, or if none of these are relevant, then you can add one of your own, add it to your library so it's available for selection in future reports. Information about the provider will automatically be pulled through into your report from the provider library. However, this step allows you to highlight any additional reasons why you've recommended the provider, and more specifically the plan as well. Why cover level, so again, Edit Advice Reasons. Why term, so again, Edit Advice Reasons. Plan features, so if I click on the edit, you can then see the different options that are available. And then we've got the trust recommendation section. So if I click on the edit, you'll then see we have a number of standard trusts here which you can save. And we've also got the text box underneath for further information as well. Key disadvantages, so to help speed up the report building process, the risk warnings relevant to the advice you are giving will automatically be inserted into the risk warning section of the report for you. However, you will still need to confirm any client-specific disadvantages associated with the new plans you're recommending, and it's in this step that you'll do just this. And then the final section we'll look at is important information, starting with advisor remuneration. So this allows you to summarise how, what and when the client is paying you for advice and service. Service proposition and reviews. So this step allows you to clarify the level of service you've agreed with your client. Client classification, followed by cash contingency fund and affordability. Next we have the supporting information step. So this allows you to list any other documents or information that you've given to the client which aren't actually included within the report. This step allows you to discount any other needs and shortfalls that the client may have that again has not been addressed in this report. For example, long-term care planning, add advice reasons. This is not a priority at the current time. And then we have next steps, which gives you the option to summarise to the client what they can expect to happen next as per FCA suggested best practice. Okay, so we'll now download the report. You can also download a covering letter which will automatically be populated with the client's address, and you can customise the content of the letter to reflect your own advice process and client preferences as well. So you will see the report downloads into a standard Word document, and your logo will appear on the front page like so. The advisor's details will also come out on the front page as well. The table of contents and the executive summary will be automatically created for you. Onto the introduction, so you'll see we've got the table here with client details. So just to note, with all the tables, only the fields completed have been pulled through, so you won't have to spend time reformatting at the end. You may just wish to do some simple formatting, like so, in the actual Word document. You'll see we've got the client objectives and the know your client information, the few sentences underneath. Overview of existing provision. And then we're on to the new mortgage recommendation section. So you'll recognise all the different subheadings here from the steps that we worked through earlier on. Information about the provider has been pulled through from the provider library. You'll see the disadvantages are highlighted here to make them stand out in the report, before moving on to the new protection recommendation section. Again, information about the provider has been pulled through from the provider library. Remember, all these colours, fonts and styles are fully customizable within the report theme, so it's entirely up to you how you'd like your reports to look. And remember as well, you can access all our example reports via our website, as well as your Genovo account. We've got the risk warnings, so there are lots of risk warnings, but only those relevant to the advice given will be pulled through into the report. And the same applies to the glossary of terms in the appendix. Only the terms relevant to the advice given will be pulled through into the report as well. Product information contains some brief information about the products that you've previously recommended. Okay, so we'll now pop back to the app and we'll finish off with the customization functionality that I said I'd refer back to later on. So from the dashboard, customization, advice options and reasons. And this library allows you to manage all those selectable advice options and reasons in the steps of the various sections. For example, if I select the introduction section and then the client objective step, I will then see all the standard advice options, or in this case client objectives, that I saw earlier on in the step. And if you remember, I added in a new option which I added to the library, and you can see it's been added at the bottom here. I could have shared it straight away, but I can also share it now so it's available for all other account users to use within their reports as well. Remember, you can also hide any of our standard advice options, so if they're not relevant, just leave them blank and they won't get pulled through into the final report. And then finally, we have the Report Content Manager, which allows you to manage the template content of your report. So first of all, you would select the report type. Each report type is then split up into sections from the covering letter all the way through down to the various appendices. Once you select a section, you will then see what we call snippets listed below, and a snippet is a bite-sized chunk of text and they're listed in the order they appear in that section and given a name so you can easily locate the text that you want to edit. For example, if we have a look at the title and opening by clicking on the Edit Snippet, you'll then see a few paragraphs that are pulled through into the introduction. So if you wanted to edit this text at all, maybe add a few sentences to reflect your own way of doing things, click Create Custom Snippet, which produces an exact copy, and this is where you'd make those changes. So if I just make a quick edit here, so you can see the difference in a second, as once when I click Save, you'll see this new snippet will come under your company's name instead of Genovo's, so this is the snippet that will come out in your report. You can revert back to Genovo's at any point and make further edits to yours if you wish. If I then just go back, you'll see then the active version no longer states Genovo, so you know which snippets you've edited. If there was a section that you knew you definitely didn't want to include in any of your reports, you would just find the section from the drop-down, and then just untick each of the snippets like I've already done so here. So just before I finish, Genovo has a number of support resources available for you. So you've got the page helps, which provide useful hints and tips and further guidance on that particular page you're on. You've also got the links out to the various video tutorials, so these are dotted throughout the app, but you can access them all on our website as well. And then if you click on the Get Help at the top of the page, it takes you to our knowledge base, and this is split up into frequently asked questions and lots of how to do articles. You can also submit a support ticket if you do get stuck at all, and also use the search bar at the top if you're looking for something in particular. But I do really recommend this knowledge base. It's kept up to date and really detailed with step-by-step instructions for nearly everything in Genovo. And that is the end of the demo today, so thank you very much for watching, and please do get in touch if you have any further questions. Thank you.